Hello, I'm Michael Grace of eXp Realty and happy 2022. Yesterday I posted some information on my social media that had a bunch of statistics regarding the December 2021 numbers and the inventory and a lot of the real estate data that they give us every single month. But I want to go a little bit more in depth with you because the biggest question that I'm getting as we head into 2022 is, am I going to make another 20 to 25% on my home, or should I sell it now? Well, when you think about how home pricing works and you think about where we're at economically, it all comes down to this graph right here. This one basic, simple graph that I want you to get familiar with. As demand increases, price increases. As supply decreases, price increases. You have the opposite effects if you do each of the curves the other way. So once again, demand increase, price increase. Supply decrease, price increase. With that said, let's go into what is affecting home prices. And it's not necessarily just demand or a shortage of inventory. It is a combination of a bunch of factors that don't seem to, in my professional opinion, look to get resolved in 2022. Reason being, one, lumber. Timber is refined into lumber. Timber comes from us in Canada. Right now, we had a tariff as of 2022 placed on Canada for importing timber, made into lumber. Why? It was 8.99% under the last administration. The new administration has increased that more than double to 18% in a supply shortage. Yes, they do want Americans to have jobs, which is great. But at the same time, when you look at the economics of it and how much we are facing a shortage and how much timber costs to become lumber, that's a problem. You can't go ahead and tax a supply chain from what other country. They didn't do it with gasoline. When we got gasoline shortages, they went to OPEC and said, hey, we need more gasoline. Or they went to our U.S. holders of gasoline and natural gas and said, hey, we need more gasoline. For some reason, they're taxing Canada, which is creating that lumber and timber shortage. So that's factor number one. Two, millennials are buying houses. There is a giant influx, and they can't afford to do it in New York, California, Chicago. So they're looking places like Texas, Arizona, and Florida. When you have that kind of demand shift, coupled with the supply shortage, now you have radical price increases like what you saw last year. And again, neither one of those things is going to go anywhere anytime soon if you continue to tax and if more and more people want to own homes. Lastly, just real quick point, transportation. You're talking about transportation costs where diesel is up 56 to 58%. And we're having a shortage of truck drivers right now. So all of these things that you need to make a house, the windows, the doors, the concrete, everything transported by a semi is not getting here in any sort of regular occurrence. The Orlando Business Journal went ahead and surveyed a bunch of different home builders in the area, the local Orlando area, and 87% of them are having problems with doors. They're having problems with windows. They're having problems with lumber. They're having problems with supply. So when you say, hey, is it going to be a 20 to 25% increase? You can kind of start to see where these wheels are going. And if there's no supply increase and there's still the demand, yes, you could have a 20 to 25% increase. So the question your realtor should be asking you when you say, hey, should I be selling my house? They should be asking you, do you really need to? Of course, every realtor wants to sell your house for you, but if they're doing their job, they should be asking you, why? Do you need to go ahead and make an upgrade because you had another child? Do you need an office because now they're letting you work virtually? What is the reason? Because if there's no reason to sell your house right now, long term, you're not going to get hurt. Florida has the demand. We have a shortage of supply. Our legislative changes are amazing compared to the rest of the nation right now who's stuck in their houses in a lot of parts. And we have a bunch of companies coming to the state that want to be here. So check out part 2 next time when we get into the finances of it, because you're going to tackle the interest rate increases. We're going to tackle money supply. We're going to tackle some of those other things. But just from the supply, the simple supply and demand aspect of things, there is nothing in the data telling any of us that these prices are going to stop anytime soon. Tune in next week.